Long ago, in a distant land, reigned a powerful and proud monarch named Nebuchadnezzar. He ruled with an iron fist over his vast kingdom, displaying his grandeur and arrogance before his people. However, his pride did not go unnoticed by the eyes of God, who decided to intervene in an extraordinary way to teach a lesson to the king and the world. After his encounter with Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar was astonished. The words of the prophet echoed in his mind like thunder, awakening him to the reality of his own excessive vanity. He reflected on his past actions, every statue erected in his own glory, every subject forced to bow before his image as if he were a god. The light of truth now shone upon his arrogance, revealing it as a shadow that obscured his vision of true greatness. Unable to ignore the divine message, Nebuchadnezzar plunged into a period of deep contemplation. In the silence of his palace, he reviewed the chapters of his life, confronting his mistakes and excesses. Memories of his reign of opulence mingled with glimpses of the disturbing dream that had haunted him the night before. He wondered, has my insatiable thirst for power and glory turned me into a beast in the eyes of the Almighty? Day after day, the king found himself confronted with the uncomfortable truth of his own mortality and insignificance before the Creator. He looked upon the world around him, marveling at the complexity of divine creation. Every sunbeam, every gentle breeze, every creature that inhabited the earth proclaimed the greatness of God. And in the midst of this majestic universe, Nebuchadnezzar realized his humble position as merely an instrument in the hands of the Most High. Over time, a gradual transformation began to occur in the king's heart. His arrogance gave way to humility, his pursuit of power was replaced by a quest for true wisdom. He began to recognize the divine presence in all things, surrendering to God's sovereign rule over his life and kingdom. The colossal statues he once erected in his own honor were now dismantled, replaced by an altar of worship to the God of heaven. Nebuchadnezzar summoned his people and proclaimed a new era in his kingdom. He abolished all laws requiring worship of his image and decreed religious freedom for all citizens. He restored the sacred altars dedicated to the living God and invited faithful priests to offer sacrifices of praise and gratitude. His transformation did not go unnoticed, and his example inspired others to forsake idolatry and turn to the true God. In his newly discovered humility, Nebuchadnezzar found peace and contentment he had never experienced in his days of arrogant greatness. He ruled with justice and compassion, governing his people with a heart turned toward heaven. And though his journey began with a disturbing dream and a terrible transformation, it ended with the redemption and restoration of a king who learned the most important lesson of all, that true greatness lies in humility before the Creator.